Good evening. Welcome to the meeting of the Wakefield Board of Selectmen for January 12th, 2015. I would like to start by taking a look at the meeting. They were distributed in the packet. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
All right, moved by Tiz, second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next item is public participation, and I've been informed of one person.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
executive order minutes. I mean, executive.
Oh, my apologies, that's right. Thank you.
I'll move that we accept the executive session minutes.
Second.
All right, moved by Paul, second by Betsy. All in favor of approving the minutes from our executive session from last meeting?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Thank you. Good catch. All right. Public participation. There's one person has signed in. It's Bill Walsh, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Come on up to the microphone and have the floor for a couple of minutes. Go ahead.
I don't want to take up a lot of your time. All I want here, I'm requesting is a waiver on this rubbish collection here with five units. We have a 5-unit apartment. The bottom apartment is an in-law apartment. There are 4 other buildings on the street, exactly like ours, who do not have a finished basement. We have a finished basement so the owner can live there and keep track of the property. We were issued 4 barrels, we have yet to use 3. And I would just like a waiver on this, because we have no place whatsoever to put a dumpster. And I feel that it's just unnecessary to have a dumpster for the amount of rubbish that we generate. And basically, we just like you people to approve a waiver of this letter.
Okay, so you've received the letter that
I have.
says you need to have a dumpster.
This is the one I received today. We got one in December, and I contacted a member here, but they didn't get back to me.
Okay. Steve, is there a waiver process on that? I don't believe there is, right?
We don't have one, no.
Yeah, I don't waiver process in place. I know we were looking to give some time to enforce it so people could make arrangements with the weather and so forth, but I don't
Yeah.
think there's an opportunity to get a waiver. In fact, it was, I think the effort was to actually stop all the non-conforming properties that have been out there. It just came to light as a result of the changes in the trash policies.
Yeah. Which means that we have to go with this?
Yes, I believe there's no other, I'm looking at town council, he's saying it's the law, and it always
I
has been.
understand that, but I just, that's why.
Yeah, right, that's fair, yeah. I don't believe there's a waiver process, so. Do we have one?
No, there is none.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I don't think we have the power to give a waiver, to waive
Yeah.
the application of one of the bylaws.
All right, thank you for your time.
I know, I appreciate you coming, and I know this has all
I
been
know you-
challenging for a lot of people. All right. All right. Item on the agenda is personnel and appointments. Looking for a motion to appoint Peter Vitale to the Board of Registrars.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Phyllis, second by Pat. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you. Next item, the Independence Day Committee. I'm not sure if they're here yet. There's about 20 of them in the room. Independence Day Committee with Patrick Sullivan presenting. Feel free to come up to the microphone, and floor is yours.
All right, so a little bit has progressed since the last time I was here, about 6 months ago or so. The committee has been hard at work fundraising, and we've come to a point where we're comfortable saying that there will be a parade this year in 2015, as long as that's okay with you guys. And here to do is request permission to hold an Independence Day parade on Saturday, July 4th, 2015. Parade beginning at 4 p.m. And beginning at the Clarion Inn on North Avenue, going down North Avenue to the intersection of North Avenue and Church Street, from Church Street to Common Street to Main Street, and Main Street down to the Galvin Middle School. The committee would like to request, would also like to request Vets Field, the Upper Common, and both sides of the parade route of 100 feet on both sides for vendor designation purposes. in order to control the amount of children's vendors and to control the amount of food vendors on both sides of the route as a measure of safety, a matter of fundraising for the parade itself.
Okay, great. First of all, congratulations and thank you on putting this all together and rejuvenating our July 4th parade. It's something we sorely missed in the town, so kudos to you, to all of you for stepping up and finding a way to resurrect it. So before we get into the mechanics of your ask, which I think need to be in writing, right?
We have them, yeah.
Oh, you have them in writing? You have it all? Okay, all right. So anybody have any comments on the request, or go ahead, Betsy.
I would just like to make a motion, if I may, that we authorize the parade to be held on Saturday, July 4th, beginning at 4 o'clock, the Clarion Inn, to include the route proposal, i.e. the street closings and the vendor parameters that you have outlined, as long as it fits police and fire, okay. You know.
Yes.
And you know what, I'm gonna throw in Ruth Clay.
Yeah, health. Yeah.
Health,
Sure.
Board of Health, police and fire, and I know you'll be working with them. Yeah, okay, so I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
Okay, moved by Betsy, second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Oh, Phyllis, go ahead.
I think it's absolutely wonderful, the work that you people have done and the money that you've raised, and that we are having that 4th of July parade again. I know, in speaking to people in town, and even people from out of town, they're all really looking forward to that. I know that was a great undertaking, and we appreciate all the work that you've been doing. Thank you.
Thank you. That's why there's so many people behind me today, because it's a big group effort.
All right.
Yeah,
Pat?
Patrick, I just want to echo the sentiments here. Congratulations to you, and hats off taking on this. It's a challenging thing. It's going to be a lot of work, but, like anything, something worth work is all worth it. It's very satisfying, and you'll make a lot of people very happy. People come from all over to come for this. I hear from people, oh, is Wakefield having their parade? Why didn't Wakefield have their parade? People love this parade. It's got a lot of tradition, and it's a fun day for kids, for families, for old folks, for everybody. So thank you for doing it, and thank you all for doing it, and resurrecting this. Hats off to all of you.
Thank you.
Great. Paul?
Just simply thank you. I mean, I know what you're going through. It's a big job, but you're going to do well. I'm hearing nothing but good stories, so congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Come back if you have any issues or need help. We're here to support you.
Mr. Chairman, I think Dan Benjamin, a member of the committee, does have something for the board
Oh,
in
sure.
regard to this.
We got a little present for everybody here on the committee, even though we got T-shirts on. It's still been pretty cold. Lois has knit all patriotic scarves.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim.
Oh, my
Thank you.
goodness.
I think you already,
I can pull it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't know if I can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
thank you, Lois.
Do
You
it.
can also use them Sunday for the Patriots game.
Yes,
There you
I
Thank you, Lois.
Thank you, Lois.
Thank you.
All right.
You're gonna wear that?
Scarves on. It's, as a
Scarves
chairman,
on.
amazing.
I am absolutely wearing that.
Tiz is going,
Come on, Tiz.
Tiz, you know you have one like that.
It's a requirement.
It's a requirement.
Is it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's right in the bylaws somewhere.
Yeah,
As
it
chair, I
is.
can require scarves.
Wow, that was nice.
Very nice, thank you, Lois.
Thank you.
Apparently, the system of checks and balances says I can't tell town council what to do. But yes, I can.
Oh, yes, you can. Bye.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna tell you, Tiz. That's it, great to be in. That is,
Oh, yeah, I love it.
oh, yeah.
All right, and moving on our agenda to the Pedestrian and Bicycle Committee. Our showers.
Hi,
Welcome.
good evening.
Floor is
I
yours.
didn't bring gifts tonight.
Well, then hit the road.
Motion to deny.
Exactly.
Ouch.
Tough act to follow. But good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Kara Showers, and I work for the Health Department here in Wakefield. I did prepare a two-page document that I was hoping to read, which you guys have in front of you, but folks at home do not have. So, dear Board of Selectmen, The City of Melrose and Town of Wakefield Boards of Health announced in September 2014 that they applied for and were awarded a $40,000 grant per year for 3 years by the Patrick administration at the time. The award is $1 million in Mass in Motion municipal wellness and leadership grants that were awarded to 22 programs across the Commonwealth. The grants are designed to promote opportunities for healthy eating and active living in the places people live, learn, work, and play. Mass in Motion, or MIM as we call it, is a program of the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, or DPH. These grants enable us to make healthy eating and active living easier for people to achieve. We're working to make the healthy choice the easy choice by ensuring the availability of healthy, affordable foods and promoting opportunities for physical activity. Adding more bike racks in prime locations and having teens involved in cooking and promoting healthy family eating is our future. Healthy dining and healthy corner store programs already established will expand, making it easier for residents to add veggies when they're eating out. There is much energy in Wakefield from many people, parents, teens, all sorts of community members, around safe routes to school and a more walkable downtown. And this grant will also allow residents interested in walking and biking in the town to have a sort of cohesive voice. So additionally, as a Mass in Motion community and with a pedestrian and bicycle advisory committee in place, we will have opportunities to apply for additional grant funding. So things like grants focused on improving pedestrian accommodations specifically for our senior citizens in Wakefield, and or complete and active streets certification programs. So tonight, I'm here to ask you to consider forming a Board of Selectmen subcommittee titled, I just kind of made this up, Wake and Bicycle Committee. This body can work to improve conditions for both pedestrians and bicyclists and promote walking and biking as a means of transportation around town. So committee membership could include really any and all community members who take an active interest in walking and biking and those types of issues in Wakefield. So already we have folks who helped at the Farmers Market Bike Day that we did this early fall, any Rail to Trail Committee members, Wakefield Main Street members, teens and youth, seniors, parents, PTOs, PTO members, as well as town staff from a variety of departments, the health department, our town planner, the police department, the Department of Public Works, the school department, and our recreation department. Activities of the committee could include enhancing Wakefield's reputation commuter city, creating walking and or biking maps for downtown and beyond, different neighborhoods, reviewing town plans for road construction and offering input, to organize and participate in public events and campaigns such as walk and bike to school days, bike Wakefield events, all sorts of things. Another activity could be to comment on pending pedestrian and bicycle related ordinances and improvements in the town, developing materials to encourage safe walking and biking, and working with other pedestrian and bicycle organizations in surrounding towns and across the state. And of course, there's a lot of organizations nationally as well. So this committee could meet quarterly or every 2 months at Town Hall. And it's something that, while I'm here as the Mass in Motion coordinator, I would definitely help facilitate and lead and run them. So together, by implementing local policy systems and environmental change strategies, we will prevent and reduce obesity and other chronic diseases that result from being overweight and obese. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle that includes regular physical activity and of course the consumption of healthy foods is important in maintaining a healthy weight and reducing the risk for chronic disease and associated risk factors including hypertension, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, some cancers. The list goes on, as you guys know. So let's eat better and move more. So I welcome your feedback tonight. I just thought I would read for the folks who aren't
Sure.
here in the room having this document.
Oh, that's great, thank you very much.
Sure.
Ron, if anybody have a comment, you good for the moment?
I'll just comment that I think it's a great idea. I think anything to promote, healthy living and safety, I think is great for the citizens of this community. So kudos to you for coming up with this and coming before us to request this. So I'm all for it. Thank you.
Betsy?
I certainly have no data to back this up, but I think it's universally accepted that preventive medicine, even if there are expenditures, is far better than trying to deal with serious issues once bad health sets in with people. I would like to make a motion that we authorize the chairman to meet with Town Administrator Mayo and discuss the
Create the committee.
committee,
Yeah.
if I may make that
Sure.
motion.
Second.
All right, moved by Betsy, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Any other comments? Thank you very much, I think it's tremendous. I think there's a lot going on with respect to both walking and biking in town between the Rail to Trail project. Friends of Lake Quantapowhat are always looking for improvements for the folks for walks and bike rides. And then, of course, I think you mentioned it, but the Traffic Advisory Committee, obviously, they have a lot to do with what gets decided as to how the traffic flows around town. And I think having, dual membership on both would be really great to help make sure that our, the decisions we make about traffic are also good for walking and biking. So I think it's a really strong and great idea. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you
All
guys
right.
very much.
Thanks a lot.
See you soon.
All right.
Okay, take care.
All right. Next item on the agenda is a request from John McCarthy, Town Treasurer, to transfer $473,000 from the capital projects account to the general account for bond payments due in January for Galvin Middle School interest, which is $461,000, and athletic fields, which is just under $12,000. So, all in favor? Excuse me, I have a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we
Yeah.
accept the the request.
Second.
Moved by Betsy, second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. The next item is actually kind of my own. It's a Human Rights Commission is what it says in the agenda. Just came to my attention, recently about a few incidents, and one in particular in town, kind of involving anti-Semitism and things like that. And, I know they were dealt with. It was school-age children, and I know they were dealt with properly by those who should have dealt with them. However, it just kind of caught my eye that this stuff is still going on kind of in this day and age. I don't know that it'll ever be perfect, but we don't really do a whole lot about it. So looking at things like that, then juxtaposing that with the activities in Ferguson and now in other cities regarding police and human rights. My own experience, I've been on a human rights committee for people with autism 10 years now. I've been doing that. I think just was talking to Steve about, is there something we can do in town to just raise awareness, kind of take a leadership position before these things ever get out of hand or before some incident befalls our town. So in looking around at what other towns have done, Melrose has had a human rights commission for I think over a decade now, right, Steve? Or
Yep.
in the 90s, it was created. But what they did was basically put a group of folks together that started by doing a study of their town of kind of attitudes and approaches to inclusion, and what did people feel about how the town was doing in that regard, and what things they'd like to see improved, and did a quick study, quick and dirty, nothing expensive or anything like that, just to get a sense for the feelings, and then did outreach around the town. Eventually became the board that was authorized by any mass commission against discrimination complaints in Melrose went first to this board, and they could actually solve them through mediation and so forth. So I think that's an interesting function, but I also think the type of outreach that could go on, especially in the schools, raising awareness, making it part of curriculum, have walks, whatever it is, but maybe give out awards to students who exemplify these, the positive characteristics in this regard. I think it'd be, strong, and it's probably overdue in this town. Fortunately, I think we've done a great job in this town, just as a community. I'm always proud of Wakefield for everything we have and all the things we do in this town. I do know that this town takes care of its own and does care about one another as human beings. So I'm always most proud of that about Wakefield, maybe just after the lake. But no, but really, it's a great town to know that. So when I hear a couple of incidents out there, it concerns me, because you don't never want to erode that good feeling. So thinking about forming, a human rights committee or commission in this town that has maybe some functions like the one in Melrose. We'll look at some other towns as well. But I think it's something strong. It's something we should do to get ahead of the curve, working with police, the schools, employers in town, whatever it takes, to get the word out and get the message out that Wakefield is an inclusive place, before anything to the contrary kind of occurs or fills the void. So, go ahead, Betsy.
I think it's fantastic. I remember a few years back when that lunatic, well, my opinion only, the head of the American Nazi Party came
Oh,
to
yeah.
Wakefield, all right? And this community responded in my opinion, a very good way, and it included the clergy as well, by the way.
Yes,
Okay?
absolutely.
I think that's important. And there was a rally held away from, because he had First Amendment rights, of course, and he could come and shoot his mouth off downtown with all his spewing hatred, really, is what it was.
Right, I remember.
Anti-everything. And it was moved elsewhere, and it was great. It just took the focus right off the hatred and so forth, and I think it's a great idea. And, there's a line from a song from an old Broadway show, and it's, you teach children from a young age to hate. They have to
Right.
be carefully taught. And bigotry and hatred comes early, and it's ingrained, and sometimes these children do not understand it.
Right.
And I think education is a big thing, and I think this is a great idea that
Great.
you're bringing up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I think the incident you referred to was dealt with incredibly quickly by the school department. And it was admittedly by the principal, probably more juvenile cluelessness and stupidity than true bigotry. But they were dealt with very, very pointedly. The school does have programs in place with regard to those issues. I think they're doing a great job, which is why they reacted so quickly to a small incident. They stopped it, educated students as to the severity of it. So I think it's a great idea, but we've also shown that we have responded to things
Oh, yeah.
that have happened very quickly and appropriately.
Yeah, no, and I said that, the school, it was dealt with properly at the time, but it just kind of opened my eyes between that right here at home and the things going on around the country, that this is something worth taking a deeper look at. And to your point, Betsy, I had that exact conversation with my wife on the subject. She said, kids aren't born to hate anybody, it's somebody's teaching them that. So the more intervention and the more forces in our community that are pushing them the other way, the better. So it can only be a good thing. So, Paul?
I commend you for bringing it forward. It sounds like a commission or committee. What would you ask of this board right now? Would committee or commission?
Yeah, so whatever it is, I think I'm going to take another step of just kind of investigating what the right format is. I'd like to talk to town council about, what kind of rights and powers we could even give a board like this, if we wanted to give them any, or delegate any type of authority. But I'd like it to be more than just a token organization that has this moniker and does whatever they do. Maybe give them a real charter and a real task and some,
I'm supportive of it.
to make it really effective. So I think at this point, I just wanted to socialize it with my fellow board members. And then, if you guys have any ideas, I welcome input. I'd like to get this thing going. I don't expect to chair it or run it on my own. I think there are several folks in town who have kind of taken up this mantle already, and we could give them a more formalized place to operate. So there's plenty, but if you have suggestions regarding people and ideas and activities that could go into this, I just welcome a collaborative effort. So before I ran down any further with it, I wanted to let everybody know.
It's great.
Great job.
All right, so I don't think I need a motion or anything, or just, so I'll start, talking to Steve about it. I'll keep everybody informed, and hit me up if you have ideas, input, thoughts, for sure. All right? Okay. Next item on the agenda is, Event Planning Committee, year-end report. Mr. Donaco.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Everyone should have a copy of the year-end report for the Event Planning Committee. It reflects a calendar year from January 1st of 2014 to December 31st of 2014. It encompasses all three of our events. The Event Planning Committee are very successful events for the town of Wakefield in 2014. The committee carried out the mission of the town's event planning committee, that being to facilitate and to sponsor events and activities which are of mutual interest of visitors and residents of the town of Wakefield. These events, while encouraging renewed community spirit, also help promote local business and generate new growth. Starting off with the first event in March, we brought our first Irish festival, Jest Fest. Irish fair, entertainment, comedy, political satire piece, emceed by our own select woman, Betsy Sharon, and Republican-owned committee chairman, Gerard Lehman. They both did an outstanding job that day. It was an enjoyable time for all who attended the sellout event. Mid-August saw the much-anticipated two-day Festival Italia. The weekend started off with the traditional Italian dinner on the Friday evening, where over 12 eateries from Wakefield and surrounding areas provided food to the people. The Sheraton Colonial hosted the event for us once again. On Saturday, Main Street were filled with capacity, with over 17,000 people attending throughout the course of the day. To the delight of businesses and merchants, most of them sold out of a lot of their materials. I know most of the eateries did. The weather was perfect for outdoor activities. It was capped off by a beautiful firework display sponsored by the West Side Social Club, and thanks to them for having that event for us later on that evening. The year ended with our signature event, the Tista Season Holiday Stroll. Not even Mother Nature could deter a great time by the merchants and businesses that participated, and the townspeople and visitors who attended while it was raining. Yes, it was a very rainy and cold day. The day began with the step into Frozen Wonderland, which was the theme at the Civic Center, where hundreds of children enjoyed meeting Disney characters and entertainment. Traditional hat parade commenced and was led by the Wakefield High School Marching Band, to the delight of many who were standing there watching, and ended at the BB Library steps. From there, people dispersed to take the streets, activities from horse and carriage rides to singing groups, magicians, dance troupes, artists. The day was enjoyed by all who ventured out. The EPC would like to thank the many groups that were involved in helping out throughout the course of the year. MGLD, the DPW, the police, the fire, town administrator Steve Mayo, many that went on and on that helped us throughout the entire thing. So in your packets, again, you have the year-end report. We went through it, Steve and I, and to make sure that it was all accurate and up to what is anticipated from this committee. My apologies to Betsy for not having it presented earlier than I was asked to.
Day late and a dollar short.
Day late, dollar short.
Yes, you did it. No, I wanted an.
Well, you're not a dollar short.
No apologize, yeah, no apologies necessary. I mean, because I had been asked,
Yes.
okay? And I did not have the answers, obviously.
It just took longer than I anticipated.
I don't care. Don't worry about it. Oh,
I'm done, thank you.
You good?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we have your report. Do you want to, just looks like you're at a net, this foots to 13.4 at the bottom? Is that
13,451.35 is what we have in the town general fund right now. What it reflects is a net gain 2014 of $6,565 from
Great.
our starting balance. So we kept it to a very close budget. We tried to maintain it as tight as possible. We really didn't want to have a large excess in cash on here, just enough to carry us over to our next event. So
That's
it's
great.
always just swing it
Rolling.
forward. I would be negligent in not thanking the entire EPC committee for all that they do on this, to provide all these events. It's a small group of tight individuals. It's almost family. Without them, these events would never occur, I'm telling you. And it would be a shame that something like this would ever disappear, because it brings so much joy to those who attend. So,
Right.
thank you.
Okay. And this ties with the town accountant and all that,
Exactly,
right?
yeah. Yes.
That's probably the most important
Yes.
factor,
I
right?
tell them they have to tie to us.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the report of the event planning committee?
Second.
Moved by Pat, second by Tiz. Discussion on the motion. Betsy?
Yes, I would like to thank Paul. I know I've been bugging you about this, and
Oh, no, no.
Steve, but where the money goes through our town accountant, all right? And if nothing else, we have fiduciary responsibility about where it's being solicited from store owners and businesses and so forth and so on. And when I was asked how much money they made, where'd the money go, how was it spent, I said, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I said, but it does go through Kevin Gill, our town accountant, and where it is passed through us, I think it was important that this came in. So I thank you for bringing it in. It's funds that are used by a committee that was designated by this particular
Right.
board. So we do have that responsibility. All right?
Great.
So thank
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Everybody, so was a motion on the floor. Is there no further discussion? All in favor of accepting the report? Aye. Great. Thank you. All right, next item up is a request from the Traffic Advisory Committee looking to add some no parking signs on the east side of Hopkins Street during certain months of the year. It's in the packet. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Betsy, second by
Second.
Ann. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is request from Sharon Gilly, Director of the Library, to expend a gift of $1,024 from various donors with thanks. Can I get a motion? Moved by Paul, second by Tiz. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Next, item H is Judy Luciano, Director of the Council on Aging, would like to accept a gift and expend it in the amount of $3,218 from various donors with thanks.
So
Moved
moved with
by Paul,
thanks.
second by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. All right, the next item is a request from Socorro Organic, Socorro downtown, to add live band to their existing entertainment license. Is there anybody here to discuss
They wanted me
that?
to sing too, but
And it's
Motion denied.
Definitely rejected.
Motion to deny,
What
I'm
motion?
sorry.
I didn't even hear a motion.
Right, motion to deny.
I think he could be like opera singer.
Wow.
Oh, Adam Sandler.
All right,
I'll
so-
move that.
Be very careful what you move, because there's a
I'm
few
going
things
to move
discussed
that
there.
we allow live band to exist, added to their entertainment license.
All right, moved by Paul,
Second.
second by Tiz. Discussion, Betsy? You
No,
good? Okay,
I'm ready
all
to
right.
vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. All right, next is a request from Gail Sievert for a one-day liquor license to host a charity event in conjunction with Housing Families on March 6, 2015 at the Wakefield Universalist Unitarian Church Hall from 7 PM until 10 PM. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Pat, second by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Thank you.
I didn't see you there.
Marathon.
All right.
Good job.
Yeah, good presentation.
Very good. That's very interesting.
All right. Correspondence in your packets, letter from Mass School Building Authorities, a letter from RCN, and there's a letter from the town manager of Reading. And now, without further ado, we'll go to our scarf-clad town council.
I just wanted to note that Ms. Sievert learned the lesson that regrettably few lawyers ever learn, which is when you win, leave.
Yeah, yeah.
I have nothing.
Be quiet when you get yes.
that's right. Couple
Steve.
quick things, Mr. Chairman. Coming in late after our agenda was a request from the Scholarship Foundation of Wakefield for their annual trivia night, which is going to be held on Saturday, February 28th at St. Joseph's Parish Church, Parish Hall, between 6:30 PM and midnight, and they'll be looking for a one-day liquor license, and I would suggest that we waive the fee, as it is a charity. This will
Is
get
this something we can take action on now,
Yeah.
even though it wasn't on the
So I
agenda?
feel pretty good.
All right, motion to approve the request. It was made by Pat Glenn, seconded by Tiz. All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Thank you. I just want to, other thing I have is that at our next meeting on the 26th, I know you guys will all be happy to, we'll be having a financial meeting, get you a nice, easy meeting at the beginning of the year, then we'll get you one with some tougher issues regarding what my forecast will be for fiscal year 2016 and beyond, and we'll start off with some budgets as well. So just want to let you know if you have any questions, try to get things out of you ahead of time. I will be at the MMA convention on the 23rd of January. Heard today that Governor Baker is going to speak, which I had expected that he would be, and we should get some of his insights into the budget as well. So, thank you.
Great. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah,
Phyllis.
last time I was here, I asked the WMGLD to do something about the bad conditions in the lights at Jeffrey's Liquor Store and the Co-op Bank. I just got to be a big hero.
Again, still?
Because within 2 days, and I must thank Eugene Sullivan, I got to tell you, it was absolutely fantastic. The bright lights, you can see
Great.
what's going, don't have to worry about people falling and slipping. So that was really, I appreciate that, and I appreciate what they did. It was fantastic. And the only other thing I want to bring up is I want to make sure, because I'm being asked all the time through town administrator, to find out about that bridge at Wynn Street, because I'm asked about that constantly. Are we doing, at least I want to find out what the story is, who's responsible, and what we can do something about it, because we had another area where there was a bridge with the problem, and we were able to take care of it. So these are the two things that I wanted to bring up tonight. Thank you.
Okay. On the bridge, well, first of all, nice job on the lights. I'm sure it went over well with the chuck wagon, right?
Yeah.
And on the bridge, Steve,
Yeah, we
is
think.
that our bridge or is it the?
We think it's probably through the MBTA, but I will make sure that we have the definitive answer at the next meeting.
Okay. Okay, great. Thanks, Phyllis.
Thank you.
Ms. Sharon.
Left on that?
Beg your pardon. Yeah, right. I'd just like to wish everyone a belated Happy New Year, my fellow board members and Steve and Tommy and Sherry. Also, don't forget the food pantry, please. Also, with a couple of the presentations that come in tonight, I'm very pleased that groups are working together. So the right hand knows what the left hand is doing. Because in the past, it used to be, one group would do one thing, and then they'd find there was an issue because something was going to happen and something had been planned. And I think it cuts down, it's more efficient, it's less disruptive, and people's positions, they respect each other's positions if they have some skin in the game as the plans are being made. And it's not an in-your-face thing, or who's in charge and who has more authority, yada, yada, yada. I just think it's great that all of the groups, community groups, our own departments, the more we work together, the better things are going to be done, I think. Also, Steve, what is the drop-dead date on that ethics form that we have to fill out every year?
We should be, it's every 2 years.
I mean,
Every 2 years.
It's due this year, is it not?
It's due this
Yeah.
year. We'll be pulling that together. Actually, I asked Rose Morgan in our town clerk's department to put together an for everybody, so everybody on that, committee members in particular, and we'll be getting those out to you. If anybody has any problems with it, it's pretty easy. You take it online, you print out a certificate, and we file it in the town clerk's office. So that is coming up.
Okay.
Thank you, Betsy. Paul?
One quick note, last week, I believe it was last week, we had the merchants meeting with a number of businesses attending, and Detective Michael O'Connell gave a great presentation to all of them on the issue of shoplifting and how to deal with it within the community, within their stores. A lot of the merchants were concerned of how they make an approach to an individual that they suspect of shoplifting, and Detective O'Connell did an outstanding job on filling in a lot of information to them as far as what their rights were, what to do and what not to do, and how simple it is to call, and how fast the response would be. So hats off to the detective for coming down and giving us an hour and a half of his time to all the merchants, so.
Great.
That's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Glenn?
Brian, quickly, I didn't comment on your human rights thing, but committee, but I think it's a great idea. You know, I grew up in Boston during busing, and there was a lot of hatred and a lot of racism and a lot of change and a lot of difference. And anytime, I don't care. You know, Wakefield is a good community, and there's very little tolerance for that type of thing. But anytime you take action like that, I think it's a good thing. And hats off to you for leading it and for coming up with the idea. And I'm behind it 100%. We should have zero tolerance for any of that nonsense. All three of my kids grew up here, and I think all of them had the benefit. I agree with Ann that I think that the schools do a fantastic job of awareness, and it's night and day from what a lot of us grew up with. So hats off to you for taking a lead on it. I'm proud to be associated with it. Steve, some traffic items for the Traffic Advisory Committee.
Yep.
The two interchanges, Lowell to Salem, coming from what would be the east, traveling on Lowell Street where you intersect with Salem. I think perhaps for people coming from the north, that's a pretty well-known cut-through. I think maybe a sign that says, please use your directional, because it's a game for these people from Linfield who are from God knows where on the North Shore, cutting through Wakefield. They come along, you're stopped at the stop line waiting to see which way they're gonna go, and they sometimes they smirk and they go right, and you're stuck there at the stop sign waiting for them. So both that intersection and then Salem to New Salem, stopped at the stop sign, waiting to see where the person from the east is coming, and they go straight and they don't put their directional on. It's rude, and it's, you know, I think it's a game with some of these people. And then Nahant Street. We've all traversed Nahant Street, and now that I run a lot, and I run around town, and I've talked to people in the neighborhood. Nahant Street is akin to, it looks like the Indianapolis Speedway on a Saturday. And sometimes those big trucks go flying down there. That sidewalk has a very narrow berm. I don't even think it has a granite curb. Kids are walking there to school, you know, sometimes there's a little pathway. I don't know, you know, we're spending money on infrastructure around town, and, you know, shame on us for not identifying it sooner, but something should be done down there. A car skids, and it could, you know, there's just nothing between you and the roadway, or the kids walking to school in the roadway. A guardrail and maybe a raised, an elevated sidewalk with a curb or something. You
Okay,
know.
we'll look into that with DPW as well.
Nothing, thank you.
It is. Ann?
Phyllis, back to Phyllis.
Yep.
Oh, I want to say one more thing, but after you finish. Okay.
Just to jump off on what you brought up, Brian, about the human rights. You know, we obviously don't live in the most diverse town in the Commonwealth, but what I think, our kids are being exposed to things on social media and on TV that we were never exposed to. So where we might not have heard of the issues in Ferguson, they're hearing about it and watching it. I think most kids over a certain age, watching South Park, and they don't have the savvy to understand that kind of comedy, you know, that spurned, I think, a lot of what happened at the junior high school, at the Galvin. So it's not necessarily targeting what's happening in our town, but I think it's trying to teach our children to be sensitive and worldly in this life that they're living, that is they are being exposed to so many more incidents than we ever were. So I think taking that tack could be also a good move.
Well, yeah, just, I mean, that is the tack. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, as I said, the stuff that went on with the schools were what just got me thinking.
Yeah.
And the schools, I know, dealt with it fine. It was, you know, that's kind of
Right.
a non-issue at this point, but it just made me think, and I was wondering, what else should we be
Yeah.
doing more to be proactive again before more happens here or something else happens here,
Or
so.
just to educate our
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, just so it's education and then also being, you know, a healthy positive place where somebody who might be a victim of something or feel like they might be a victim can go have somebody that's a representative or body they can go to and say, hey, this happened to my kid, or this happened to me, or somebody left this on my lawn, whatever, you know. Here's what happened, what do you think? With some confidence that they have, that the people they're going to are extremely sensitive to the issue. So I just want to make this a comfortable, safe place for everybody all the time. And it really, to your point, it's proactive.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not reactive. It's just,
Right.
that's what made me start thinking about it. So. Phyllis?
I wanted to bring this up, but I wanted to wait until everybody has finished, except you, the chairman. You can be last.
Thank you.
I want to bring up the letter by Dan Shulman and by Mary Galvin that was in the paper. To me, what I have to say is very important. I've lived in this town 55 years, and I've dealt with the town clerks forever. And I have dealt with Mary Galvin many, many times. And one thing about Mary, she's always been polite, very helpful. I've never had a problem with her. Whenever she could help, she would be willing to help you. But it behooves me to see what is happening here, and I think something has to be done about it. But the most important thing to me is, I was on the Board of Selectmen once before, and I'm on the board this time again, and I have dealt, while he was on the Board of Selectmen, with Steve Mayo for years. And I have known there has been many, many personal problems, and I can honestly say, and whenever any problem has come up with anybody personally, no matter what it is, that Steve Mayo has always been open-minded, fair. I cannot even think of anybody saying that he was spiteful or mean or anything. This is an untruth, and it hurts me, and it behooves me to hear that, and I feel bad that this has happened, because I know Mary Galvin is, with me, has always handled herself well, but it's so unfair to have that, and I just have to speak that out tonight, because I meet lots of people, and when that letter came out tonight, I was leaving the savings bank, and people stopped me to tell me, how could anybody even make those kind of comments about our town administrator? And I want people to know that.
Pat?
I didn't have time after work to read the paper yet. I'll read it when I get home, but I've known Steve now for almost 20 years, and he doesn't have a mean bone in his body. He's, so whatever's written, I think I would categorically say that it's false.
Yeah, and Phyllis, that's where I was gonna go with my comments tonight. Just, I've always said, especially in dealing with Steve and some trying things in the last year in town, he's patient to a fault. When I, have been ready to jump out of my seat, he's the guy who's restraining all of us, and
Right.
is the patient, methodical, tactical, strategic, careful, thoughtful person in dealing with anything. So the suggestions that he did, I think nasty was a word, and some other things like that, I think are, wholly improper, and I think that kind of the rest of the tone of the article helps people make a judgment on the credibility of the comments being made. So, but with that said, I think I speak for all of us. We've got Steve's back on all of these matters. 100%. We, and Steve, we do have your back, and publicly, I'm happy to say that, and know that your personnel in town hall, whether they be elected or otherwise, is always fair and even keeled, and I'm sure that's what happened in this case. So.
Can I just add
Town
one thing,
council.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
I
please.
think it's important to point out that everything that Steve has done and every memo he's written that's involved the town clerk or anyone in that office, he has involved me in. And so he has always acted with the advice of counsel, and I can say never against my advice. So to whatever extent it matters, it's all been vetted. He made sure it was vetted by me. And I think he, in each instance, acted appropriately and indeed with great self-restraint.
Right. No, great. So,
Thank you.
all right. With that said, I would like to say one more thing. Tonight, I get to, assuming the next motion is to adjourn, I get to gavel, not any individuals, but this here. I get to gavel the meeting to a close, thanks you to Dick Baird, who has homemade a gavel for the Board of Selectmen. So
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn, second.
Hacklin has moved to adjourn.
Second.
And Betsy Sheeran has seconded. All in favor.
Let her rip.
We are adjourned. Have a good night.